There's a proverb that says, a wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. When we're negative and when we harp and when we fight, all those kind of things, that is tearing down your home, your relationships. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm so glad to be able to make a video today. I was hoping to be able to make one weekly, but it just has not panned out. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about when we fight in relationships, how damaging it is to the relationship. And I wanted to just make this video because I know that it seems like a no-brainer to a lot of people, but to other people, it's just not as, it's just not. Like they need to be mentored, instructed, or shown things, because stuff is just not as intuitive as it is for other people. So that's why I wanted to make this video. But anyway, have you ever thrown a fit, like a screaming fit in a relationship, in a fight? I know that I have, and I really do regret that. It's so obnoxious. So, when kids throw fits, right? I mean, we can see like, oh my gosh, why are they doing that? It's just so immature, but they're children and we put up with it. Well, it's so ugly as an adult to throw a fit. And it's really a relationship killer, Now, if you've thrown a fit, like me, I've thrown several actually, don't feel condemned, because, even Jesus threw a fit. Right, he went into when he was cleansing the temple of the buying and selling of animals and whatever that was going on. He went in, he was angry, he overthrew tables. So you could say he was like kind of threw a fit, but it was obviously in his case righteous indignation. And it could be that, you threw a fit, or like I've thrown a fit, and we feel kind of justified, like maybe you were betrayed, or whatever happened, whatever trigger happened was something that was just very wrong, and so you felt kind of justified in your reaction of anger, but however, it's just really not worth it if you care about your relationship and if you care about your reputation. Because even if you were triggered by something like really horrible, like just maybe a lot of just very like disrespectful, maybe they did something very disrespectful, very betrayed you in some kind of way, nonetheless, a lot of times, it's just not going to portray you in a very good light. I've even heard of cases where people will be like videotaped or filmed while they're like in the middle of a yelling fit or something, and then it's used against them, kind of thing. So it's not worth it. Like, no matter what the person did, the way you respond in a mature manner would not be to throw a fit or to yell. On the one hand, though, if you've done that, I guess the good thing is that at least you haven't bottled up your feelings and all that, because that can be really bad, right? And again, I'm not saying that it's good to just air it out, because usually you may overreact, and then most of the time you'll really regret it. So, but to take a time out and to, deal with it when you can keep your composure is the best thing. On the other hand, there are those other people who are like passive aggressive, and they don't throw a fit. They just won't speak to you for like 2 weeks or something. And again, it's people deal with things in different ways, but we want to deal with it in a mature kind of way. So I just feel like looking back at relationships with romantic relationships, friends, family, it's not good when you throw a fit. It really is damaging. It's sort of like the other day there was a student of mine, and his computer wasn't not working. It was very slow and it was taking forever, and he was getting so angry. So he just starts pounding with his fist on the keyboard. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to fix it. That's going to ruin it even more, you know? And that's how throwing a fit, yelling, that's what happens. Yeah, maybe there is a problem. Obviously, there's a problem in their relationship, or you probably wouldn't be fighting, right? But to then throw a fit and yell and say things, it just does even more damage to the relationship in the long run. And sometimes it's just irreparable. You know, you can't get past it, and it destroys your relationship. So if it's a relationship you really care about, it's definitely worth learning how to just not get caught up in that moment, taking a step back and dealing with it in a more constructive kind of way. Also, you know, you have to think about if someone is mistreating you, you know, and you feel like you're being, you know, your buttons are being pushed, you're being triggered to where you want to react like that or explode, maybe that's not a relationship for you that you should be in. It could be that, like, that's not a good relationship, right? But conflict in a relationship, the experts say, is normal. So apparently when people, like, let's say in a romantic relationship, people come together and it's usually just like wonderful at first, right? But eventually there's going to be conflict because you've got two different people and they may want two different things. And so there's going to be conflict over certain things that come up. And how you resolve that conflict is so important to the health of your relationship. And, you know, we have got to be mature, which I have not been mature in a lot of my relationships, guys. And that's probably like some of you are like, why are you single? Well, you know, there's reasons. But not all of them, you know what I mean? Again, you can have righteous indignation, right? So I'm not saying I was righteous in all of that, all of the fits that I've thrown. Some of them I was definitely overreacting, you know. But you need to stick up for yourself. You cannot be a doormat either, to where you just, you know, you just take mistreatment from people. So there's a fine line of sticking up for yourself and letting it be known what you need from the relationship, but to do it in a way that's where you're composed and you can, you know, find common ground. And if not, perhaps you just need to walk away. And let's suppose that, you know, they are wrong and that they have crossed a line or they've done something really, really, you know, bad. By reacting in such an unbecoming way, like yelling, you know, just throwing a fit, chances are they're probably going to feel, they're not even going to feel bad about it probably, because they're going to look at you and be like, oh my God, that she is terrible, he is terrible. And they're going to be looking at your behavior as being bad. And it's going to take away from what they've done. Whereas if you behave in a way that's non-reactionary like that, then it'll probably make them think more about what they've done. And the focus will be on their behavior, not you responding in such a negative way. And now you've really sunk even lower probably than they have, right? You've sunk into their level or even more so. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of times with family, it's really funny because we feel like our family should just put up with us, or you know, and we do that there too. We do a lot of damage. And it's so important that we learn to express ourselves in a manner in which we are calm and we can not ignore these things, right, that are upsetting, that are crossing our boundaries, but that we can do it from a calm state. So anyway, guys, I hope this has been helpful and it's made you think about, how you handle yourself when conflict arises and when you get angry. If you do something like that, it is very good if you apologize. And be careful about the words we choose to use with the people we love. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It can be really embarrassing to put this out there and to be like, oh, yeah, I did this and I made that mistake. But honestly, it is something that I feel like I have learned, and I pray that I'm mature enough now that I will not make those same mistakes, because take it from me, it's not worth it. When you're angry with someone, which you definitely will be, because people do stuff. They do stuff that just is going to irritate you and sometimes infuriate you. And how are you going to deal with it? And being able to just stop and take a step back, it's hard to do that. And I think that's why I didn't do it in the past when I did throw a fit. Because I told you I could be so reactionary. But anyway, moving forward, that is something that I'm going to cultivate in my life. And I'm going to try to do more than try. I'm going to be that person, that doesn't react, but that responds. We all want to be in positive, uplifting relationships. But what do you do when you have conflict? I'm not a relationship expert, guys. I'm not. But I have, like I told you in my last video where I gave you relationship advice, I have learned from my mistakes, and I think it's a very valuable way. It's an unfortunate way of learning, but it's impactful.